Here is part 5 of the Swan Princess read-along. In a dark, lost corner of the forest, the moon rose over a descript castle. Although the rain had stopped, water poured from the crumbling turrets and gables. Attached to this castle was a tall tower dungeon surrounded by a moat, and beyond that stone fort, beyond that was a stone fort, in and in a set of stone stairs that led downward to a lake. On that lake, a lonely swan glided. Rothbard and the hag happily tossed crumbs to the majestic white bird. "Aw, don't let my little spell make you sad, Odette," he said. It doesn't last the whole day. As soon as the moon comes up." He didn't need to finish. Creeping across the lake was the moon. The moon touched the swan's wing. Water began to swirl up from below. The swan rose upward in a shimmering geyser of light and transformed into Princess Odette. "And that's how it works every night," Rothbard said as Odette landed gently on the shore. "You have to be on the lake, of course, and when the moonlight touches your wings, you're a human." Odette turned away again. For all she could think about was her father. She could never forgive Rothbard for what he'd done. "Look, Odette," Rothbard went on, "this sort of thing doesn't give me any pleasure. Well, maybe a teensy bit. But what I really want is your father's kingdom." "With all your power, why don't you just take it?" Odette retorted. "Nah, I tried that already. But once you steal something, you spend your whole life fighting to keep it." Rothbard moved closer, grinning. "But if I married only heir to the throne, we could rule together, legally, king and queen." Odette couldn't believe her ears. "Never!" She shoved him aside and stomped away through the forest. Rothbard laughed. "Where are you going? As soon as the moonlight leaves the lake, you turn back into a swan." "No matter where you are." Odette stopped. On foot, she'd never make it out of the forest in time. She turned back to Rothbard, frozen in her tracks. She was her prisoner now. Hidden behind a nearby tree, a little frog and turtle watched sadly. "Looks like she's gonna be here for a while, Speed," said the frog. "Poor girl," groaned the turtle. Prince Derek searched through the wreckage, but found no sign of Odette. Could she be alive? Was she being held a prisoner? Who or what was the great animal? He vowed he would hunt the creature down. Derek barely slept that night. At sunrise, he ordered Ward Rogers to arrange a royal target practice. In it, Derek and Bromley used soft, harmless arrows each with a powder puff tip. Derek's arrows were dipped in an orange powder, Bromley in blue, to leave a mark ahead. The court musicians, who were dressed as animals, ran through the woods and tried to avoid being hit. Derek did not miss one shot. The musicians covered in orange spots were not happy about this. Neither was Ward Rogers. "Oh, Derek," he said with an exasperated sigh, "you looked everywhere. You know Odette's not coming back. The whole kingdom knows that." "The whole kingdom's wrong," Derek shot back. He spun onto his heels and walked off the field. "You're a great marksman," Bromley said, putting his arm around his friend's shoulder. "But it takes more than good aim. It takes courage, and that's my forte. Behind them, Ward Rogers piped up. Well then, how about a quick round of catching fire? Bromley's face turned green. Catching fire? Me? You're the only one with enough courage, Rogers said with a smile. Bromley had never tried catching fire. He hoped he never would. Now he was stuck. Rogers and Derek disappeared into the castle armory and returned with 2 bows, 1 arrow, a suit of armor, and an apple. Shaken again, Bromley donned the arrow and picked up the armor and picked up the bow and arrow. Rogers placed the apple atop Bromley's helmet. Across the field, Derek stood with his back turned. Bromley lifted the bow and aimed at Derek's back. What if he whimpered. Now remember, aim for the heart, said Rogers replied calmly. Right between the shoulders. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, Bromley muttered. He stretched the arrow back and let it fly. Now! He screeched as the arrow flew towards Derek, and right on target. At the last second, Derek whirled around in one motion. He grabbed the arrow in mid-flight and loaded it onto his own bow and shot it back towards Bromley. Sing! Bromley closed his eyes. He gritted his teeth. Crunch. Above his head, the arrow split the apple neatly in 2. Bromley's knees buckled and he fell to the ground. Ward Rogers caught a chunk of the apple and took a bite. Well done, Derek, he cried. Dazed, Bromley struggled to rise up. Extraordinary courage, man, Rogers said to him. This sake, an inch lower, that arrow would have. Bromley thought about it. Then he fell to the ground in a dead faint. Derek gazed onto the forest beyond the field. Hold on, Odette, he said under his breath. I'm going to find you.